Hey guys, Genloxy here. So this is gonna be a weird little video. I got a sub for sub comment on one of my videos, and if you're not familiar with that, what that basically is a person that is trying to artificially inflate their subscriber counts. Right now, it kind of blew me away, and the reason I'm making this video is because I didn't even realize it was still a thing. I mean, when I first started the channel, and I've been doing this for Christ like 8 years now. Um, it was a thing. It was when I first started the channel. YouTube was the engagement thing was kicking in, and what that means is they weren't looking at just subscribers anymore. So you're talking like this is a excuse me. This is like a, I don't know, an idea from like 10 years ago, which in the content, the history of content creation is a lifetime. It's ages. And it's just really interesting to me. It's also silly because it's pretty much against the terms of service of all of these platforms. It's fraud, kind of, right? Um, but at best, at best, it's going to be useless, right? And I'll kind of go through some of this, but what it means is, wow, damn, I just ate, so that's why. Um, Basically means this person, they're not willing to do the work or put in the discipline to actually grow their channel. It's a get rich quick scheme, right? And the problem with those in general is it's just like winning the lottery. That's basically what they're hoping for. They're hoping to create a video, or they're hoping to shortcut the path of hard work. And I mean, it's not quite that simple. We'll get more into it later, but the thought, the idea is that you do hard work, you grow your channel, you make something that people want to watch, and it'll, if you build it, they will come and they'll watch your stuff. This is like it's a cheat, right? But the problem is, just like the lottery, you're not going to have the dedication or the discipline or the skills or the habits or any of that stuff to actually maintain your position when if you actually manage to cheat your way to the top. And these days, with the money and all the nepotism involved in YouTube and stuff, anyway, it's or well, YouTube, BitChute, Twitch, whatever. Yeah. Anyway, give it up, I would say. So we're gonna jump around a little bit. I kind of ramble a bit, but I'm gonna try and sort of segment the thing. So first off, it doesn't even make any sense. You haven't this person hasn't even done the basic amount of research, because I just did a quick Google search, sub for sub, and the first thing that popped up is it kills your channel. It's not good. Blah blah blah. So they didn't even presumably they saw it on one of these this one weird trick, doctors hate him, or something like that. One of these money making schemes or something. But and I checked out the channel, and it's like skits and AI content, AI generated videos. And it's like, so really the only way that sub for sub would actually work is if your stuff is so fantastic that people like me we see your sub for sub comment, and I'm like, what does this dude have on his channel? Just because I'm curious. And I see his stuff and I'm instantly like, oh my God, this is the best thing ever. The problem is, if you have to do sub for sub, it's not. It's not. And if you're that lazy that you can't even do a little bit of research, because you're putting your whole channel at risk for a cheap quick fix, right? You get up to the top and all of a sudden the money starts pouring in, and then YouTube's like, oh, these are all fake. Or, why not use bots if you're going to do that? Just pay for bots. I'm not advocating doing it, but if you're going to cheat right, but it doesn't even make any sense because let's say BitChute, which is where it was. As far as I know, BitChute doesn't even have an algorithm. I don't even know if their search function works properly. You know, I'm appreciative. I have my stuff on BitChute, but they're not the most technically competent of these sites, right? YouTube, they haven't done subscription based stuff for a while. Like I said, 10 years. And now it's all engagement. So at best, it'll just kill your channel. You know, you look at mine. I never did the sub for sub stuff, but I am varied. My channel is broad. It covers a lot of things. Yes, it's mostly, let's plays, but there's like some philosophy and other stuff mixed in there. There's some cat videos, whatever. I didn't approach this. I very quickly realized that money was not in the future of this channel, and so I'm like, that's cool. I'm okay with that. I do it because I want to do it. Anyone else that likes it, I'm glad. That's basically where I'm at. But so if you get a bunch of people that aren't watching your stuff, it'll actually demote you in the algorithm. YouTube looks at that and they're like, oh, your engagement is lower than someone with similar numbers. No. And then on Twitch is kind of an interesting one because they sort of do that. They almost do that, but the sub for sub thing is kind of backwards, right? What Twitch actually does is, or at least in the most idealized version, they create communities. And so, like the speedrunning community, they all watch each other's stuff. They all support each other. They subscribe. They actually tip and donate to each other. It's really wholesome, and is probably the model for what it should be. But it's like a group of friends because they all know each other. And if you wouldn't be like, hey man, buy my stuff and I'll buy your stuff. That would just be, people would be like, what? And that's basically what this is. It's like one store owner saying like, hey, purchase my items and I'll purchase yours. As opposed to what it should be, which is like, hey, let me join your friend group. It just, like I said, just shows a lot of poor character, laziness, lack of discipline, all that stuff. How long have we been going for? Okay. The other thing is, there's cat hair in my mouth. My apologies. Manny was right. I mean, he is right here still. So, goddamn. But the thing about, let's say, YouTube in general, anyway, these days, is it's all nepotism, right? Or if you wanted to do it right, if you wanted to actually compete and be successful, of course, there's people all the time that win the lottery. There's people that create a viral video and get a bunch of money, or there's people that sort of luck into it or fall into it, like VTubers. And I don't mean they all luck into it. I mean, no one expected that VTubing would take off the way that it did, because they're actually pretty talented. Talent these days is not enough. Talent is not enough. You have to have talent, but by itself is not enough. Not when you're basically competing with the new Hollywood, right? So you need the talent, but you also need the money and the connections. And that's the big thing now, because if you look at all the top people on YouTube, they all belong to the same groups. And I'm not going to say they use bots, but I would, it's all you have to do is look. And you can see that, like Mr. Beast, for example, the group that he belongs to probably uses bots to prop up his videos. That group also has connections to YouTube. So YouTube is basically, there's a reason they want to be a TV network. It's because this is content that they're basically creating. It's not the you in YouTube means you watch our stuff, right? You watch our shit. That's what it means. It's not you create it. It's not by the creators for the creators. It's you watch our shit. You know, you are the consumer. We are the creator. That's basically what it means. Um, and just as far as I guess the big thing is of this video, the big point is not just that sub for sub is stupid. It's don't be lazy. If this dude actually wanted to be successful, you need to approach these days. You need if you want to be there. There's the passion and profit spectrum, right? If you want to be profitable, you have to treat it like a business. You have to treat content creation as if it's a business. And that sucks. You know, I already have a job. I don't want a second job. So I'm all the way on the passion scale. I do what I want. I expect very few people are going to watch it. I don't make any money. I lose money technically. But that's how it is. This dude wants to shortcut that and just jump into the profit, but he hasn't done any of the work. Because if you were going to treat it like a business, right, you look at it, and this is kind of how game developers do it as well. They have their money and they're like, what are we going to invest in? What's the return on investment? And you would think that it would just be like, oh, we expect to make this much. But no, it's compared to the market. If we were to take these millions of dollars and put them in the market, we'd get this. We look at this company, these these developers and publishers or whatever. We expect this in return. We expect a projection of this, right? And so with the YouTuber or the content creator, the Twitch streamer, whatever, it's about time at first, because you don't have a lot of money. There's people that do invest monetarily. You know, to get started with this channel was probably for me about $1,000. Just like the microphone, the equipment. I have a green screen that I don't use anymore. Although if I go back to streaming, I may. We'll see. It's that's basically how it is. It's you invest your time, but you're not even willing to invest your time because you haven't done any of the market research. You haven't done any of the, you know, I expect my financials to grow at this rate. You know, I haven't looked at where the gaps in the market are, right? People don't do any of that. They're just like, they're basically followers. And I don't mean in the content creation sense. I mean in the sense of, oh, me too. I want to do that. Oh, you're doing this. Well, I'm going to do it too. They don't, you know, it's a bit cruel and possibly, you know, everyone sees other people doing it. Very few people are actual visionaries. But these days, that's kind of what you have to be. You have to have a plan. You can't just follow in other people's footsteps because it's taken over by the money. But yeah, you got to treat it like a business. And the ultimate point of this, I guess, is that if you were to look at some of the returns on investment, you would basically realize that just get a job. Just get a 9-to-5 job. I mean, that's really, you will make more money in the long run, especially if you are good with money. If you live within your means or below your means and invest whatever you can, you'll have far more money than the average person that makes content, right? It's just like the OnlyFans thing. You know, there's some that make $1 million a month or millions per month. But what is the average on OnlyFans? If a girl takes her clothes off on the internet, what's the average she can expect to make per month? I think it was like $184. Why? Why bother? You know? So that's kind of my thought. I do recommend, and this is just my final thoughts, I do recommend everyone try starting a channel. Try streaming, try starting a channel, see what the work involved is like. I mean, most people aren't even going to do the research on the level that I did when I first started. And even I wasn't, you know, I didn't look at the stuff. I was like, this is what I'm going to do. what are my, how is it going to look realistically? And there was basically no hope. Even when I started, I kind of knew that, but yeah, I recommend starting the channel. Try making content. You might enjoy it. You'll definitely learn something. You'll see the challenges, the risks. You'll grow a little bit as a person. Maybe you'll like it. Maybe you won't. There's nothing wrong with giving it a try and seeing how it goes. At worst, it's a hobby or a project or something. At best, maybe you make a little bit of money off of it. You don't have to, by the way. That's something else you need to consider. If you do the channel, especially now, I choose not to go for monetization, and I try not to treat it like a business because I already have a job. I don't want another job. And more importantly, I don't want to take something that I really enjoy, which is video games, and turn it from a hobby into work. Even doing it for this has already changed how I approach video games, but I can't even imagine doing it as like something I need to do to pay the bills, like that sense of obligation like that. That just sucks. I made this video because I could and because I wanted to. So I can't even imagine being one of these guys that is forced to do it day in, day out. Like, oh man, I gotta find some content. Oh, what can I let me read news articles, or you know what I mean? Because you see all these people all the time. People like Egoraptor that were always like, I will never do Let's Plays. I'm just gonna stick to animation. But yeah, I mean, look at what he does now. Anyway, that's basically it for today. Thank you guys so much for your time and attention. Really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Questions, comments, concerns, good, bad, or indifferent, let me hear them. I do read all of them. I do try and respond to all of them as well. Yeah, hope to see you guys next time. Till then, guys, take care.